Hello and welcome to the Power of Healing Your Energy show. I'm Christine Gold with 24 Karat Healing. And hey, Empowered Empaths, how are you? What's happening? What's going on for you? This is episode 51. And, I ran into this beautiful soul. Well, I've been following her for probably just over a year, and she's actually, I call her a local girl. She's from Alberta. She's coming out of Airdrie. I'm in Edmonton, and this is episode 51. I cannot believe, just unreal. I don't know what we're going to do for 52, but we're going to have some big party or something. So this is all about 4D ascension. What are the signs? How do we manage them? So we're just asking, and obviously there's a lot of people funneling in already. Are you an empath? I'm sure you are. Are you feeling off balance right now? Do you feel others' pains and worries? Do you feel disconnected from your old life and wondering what the heck, like I'm in this space, I'm in between. Do you feel like you're in between worlds? Yes. Do you feel crazy, but you're not? You're waking up. And like I say, I'm not going back. So our guest, Kim Wuirch, she is an author, psychic healer, empath, spiritual mentor, and archangel communicator. Love Archangel Michael, who works with people of all ages to assist them in healing, spiritual growth. And, she knows that we're being awakened in waves across the world. And again, she wants you to know that you're not crazy. And she shares her journey, and she has written 3 books, most notably Waking Up an Empath, A Year in the Life of an Empath, and From Awakening to a Spiritual Healer. And then, the spiritual healer's been talking about, and the community talking about Kim, her healing, her trainings. She's been everywhere. I love her light. I love her energy. And you always know an empath, right? You see them. It's like this light. It's just a beacon of light. So I am bringing in this beacon of light. Here she comes. Hello, hi. Kimberly. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I just want to say congratulations on 51 episodes already. That's fabulous.
I can't believe it. Where does the time go? We're already halfway through July.
I think that's a huge accomplishment. So that should be definitely celebrated.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And say hello, guys. I know there's 11 of you here.
Ooh,
almost
11.
Yeah, 11. Love that.
1-1. It's already starting off with those numbers.
So, hey, guys, share this out. Say hello. Let us know where you're from. Is this your first time? Say hello. We want to know where you're from, what's happening, how you're feeling. If you have questions for Kim, please reach out. If you're on the replay, we're here. We're going to answer you no matter what. So just before the show started, I was thinking there, I'm like, okay, 5D. I remember doing a 5D summit because, basically 5D it's available. It's right there. But a lot of us have come from the 3D. And now you said July 2nd, we transitioned a lot of us to the 4D. So what is the 4D? Just in case a lot of I'm sure there's people asking, what is that?
What does that mean? Yeah, so July 2nd was a big, big day. You may remember the planets aligning and those sort of events happening around. And what was kind of going on behind the scenes that maybe a lot of people weren't quite aware of is the entire human race to 4D. Now, that doesn't mean that they don't still exist in 3D. It means that at least everyone in the human race has a toe in 4D now. Now, everybody's going to be in different places, and we make no judgment about that whatsoever. Where they're at is where they're at. But I talk about muggles. For the Harry Potter fans out there, we joke around that.
I like that.
The people who aren't quite awakened yet or maybe aren't interested, even they came into 4D, and that's a really big deal. That means the human race is ascending together, and it creates some confusion around what's going on. How does that feel? What does that mean for me? What are the symptoms? What are the signs? And you and I both know how scary an awakening is. We know how uncomfortable the symptoms can be. We recognize how off balance we feel. And for those of us who've kind of been through it, obviously we want to let everyone know what's going on, reduce the fear, and hopefully share what's going on and provide some answers to our friends. So when we all moved into 4D, many of us may have done it already, but those who just came into 4D would have started noticing symptoms like not feeling time passing. A week goes by and you're like, I thought a day passed. You find that you're constantly having to look at the clock. You're constantly having to look at the calendar. You're really confused as to what day it is, what time it is, how much time has passed, not being able to feel the days of the week, not being able to feel any of that change that we're so used to feeling. And the other symptom of 4D or sign of 4D is space changes. So in the fourth dimension, which is what 4D is, in the fourth dimension, we experience time and space differently. Some say time and distance, but it's actually time and space. And so you might notice that, say it takes you an hour to commute to work every day, and all of a sudden your commute took 45 minutes and you can't figure out how. You've done the same drive every single day, and all of a sudden how long it takes you to get there changed. Or you might be attending a workshop and realize you've taught this workshop or you've attended this workshop multiple times, and yet this time you were able to cover more material in the same amount of time. And you're like, how? How is that possible? It is because you are definitely experiencing 4D.
Yes, I'm just nodding my head. I'm like, yeah, timelines, like space and time. You almost feel like, that word astral traveling. People are having more vivid dreams. People are having deja vu. People are having ancestor past life. All of it. It's all it's like a big old, when you dip your hands in the paint and you just, like kindergarten, you just start going for it.
Right?
It's the same idea.
You betcha. So where it was challenging before, it's so much easier now. Oh, see, Christine's even congratulating you. That's
Thank you,
sweet.
Christine. And I have family in Calgary. I actually grew up in Calgary. So thank you so much.
That's awesome.
Thank you so much. Please share this out, guys. Love to see you here. Ruth from Edmonton. She's definitely feeling off center.
Yeah, that's an understandable feeling for sure. And what I can do for all your guests today is actually center everyone. Once everybody's joined us, if they're interested, I can bring all that energy back. We do sometimes center or scatter our energy when we're uncertain or focusing too much on the future, focusing too much on our past. Maybe not intentionally, but certainly when we have all that energy back where it belongs, we feel more focused and more centered and more present and able to concentrate, right? So I've certainly put that out there for your guests if they're interested in.
All right. Well, if you guys are interested in having some centering and some balancing done, just leave a comment, say balance. How about that? Balance. And we'll circle back. We'll make sure, we've got a few folks here anyways. I've got 11 right now.
Look at that.
Yeah. And this is synchronicity, guys. This is signs from the universe. Whatever you resonate with, it's a feeling. So the more times you can feel into something and live from your heart center, everything else, it's almost like, shedding layers as well. I just heard that. And Ruth is just saying also not sleeping.
Yes, that can be one of the symptoms of actually not being centered, but also just going through that transition. It's hard on the body. Your physical body's having to adapt.
Yes, physically and mentally, we're exhausted.
It is. Yeah.
Hi, Mary from Westlock. I actually lived in Westlock for a couple of years. So hi to Westlock. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, that's wonderful. Look at all these people, all these local people. This is so nice. Usually I'll have people coming in from South Africa or Australia, but today is pretty local. So this is great.
Absolutely.
So with grounding, how important is grounding? And
It's
what can you do to
critical.
get grounded?
Oh, it's just critical. Mostly for empaths. Empaths it's a dire need. It's not even an option. Grounding, you think back to your science class when they were explaining electricity, how electricity flows, and that obviously you need the ground. Otherwise, what happens? Electricity is going everywhere. Not fun. And so if
No.
you think about that in terms of your body, if that electrical energy in your body is going off everywhere, that means you can't concentrate, you can't focus. That means you're not moving energy through your body effectively. And being that your heart and your brain is very electrical, it's going to overload them. And you get anxious and you get overwhelmed and busy brain, monkey brain, they call it, right? Monkey brain.
Yes.
Yeah, not fun at all. So
No.
grounding alleviates those symptoms. You've
And
probably got your own ways of grounding. Like, what do
of
you use?
course, honestly, I go outside in my bare feet a lot,
Yeah.
or I have my magnesium spray that I use every night. That helps me. I sleep like a rock. We are naturally deficient in magnesium. So if you have any type of issue in your body, it is a wonder mineral. I would highly recommend that first and foremost, or an Epsom salt bath. That for me, I love water. So
Yeah, I'm with you on those. So all of those are amazing, but a lot of people will ask me, well, what do I do in the winter? So then I say, well, sometimes you got to come back to your visualizations in those cases and really connect to earth. So if you're somebody that likes to put your feet in the grass and likes to get your feet on the ground and it's 40 below out and you're like, well, my feet tend to turn blue, I don't think I'm going to enjoy that. Fair. Imagine that you're rolling up in the grass or that roots are growing out of your feet and going into the ground and really anchoring you, or channel earth energy.
yes.
Channel earth energy. If you are a Reiki practitioner, you'll be able to do this with such ease, is that you just imagine the grass in your yard and then just channel that energy into a ball in your hands, and that grounds you pretty much immediately. You feel the thudding down back to earth. Or you can, if you can get your hands on a tiger iron crystal, the one with a lot of hematite in it, that one also really grounds really well for, some people don't trust the visualization techniques, especially if they're new to this stuff. They want something more tangible. So like you say, your spray is very tangible, right? And they can use that. The crystal, tangible, they can hold that and they can feel the results right away. But eventually you don't really need the tools. You'll be able to just tap into that and do that in a blink.
True. It's practice. I get it. I do a visual, like a grounded meditation every morning as well.
That's
or
great.
multiple times during the day, depending on what's going on.
Right? Some people do
Yeah.
get grounded throughout the day, right? They want it to be a
Yes.
permanent thing, but it's not permanent.
No, especially depending on if you're in a service base or a customer or your front line. Those are huge tools. And thank you everybody for, the amazing work you've been doing over the last 4 months. We appreciate you.
Yeah. Everyone, front lines. I can't imagine what it must be like for all the empaths on the front lines right now, dealing with the fear, not necessarily their own, but other people's, right?
Yes.
Taking on the fear and the people going through the 4D ascension. It brings up fear because they're like, what's happening to me? What's going on? And then all the empaths around them are trying to move that energy for them. And if they're new to this, they don't know what's going on either. And they're like, why am I being bombarded? Why is all this having to go through me? And I have to remind a lot of them that this is what you were built for.
Yes.
This is why you're here. And it doesn't have to be uncomfortable. And there are many tools that you can use to help you as an empath, but first you got to embrace it. It's just
Yeah, well, it reminds me of, the Spider-Man movie, with great power comes great responsibility. And I'm not saying that you have all this power and you're like some magician, but there is responsibility, and it's first get your own energy right.
Right.
And then you can be turning around and like, okay, now I'm going to share it, but I'm not going to absorb it.
Right. It's kind of like
Yeah.
the plane scenario where they say put your face mask on first, because if you pass out, you can't help anyone else, right?
That's right.
If all our empaths are down for the count, nobody's transmuting anything for anybody. So certainly I know it can be challenging. So for the new empath, I created a product called Energy Protection Oil. It was a formula that I got from an archangel. And it came out in 2017 and has helped so many people. And, I'm not saying that you're going to need it forever. You shouldn't. I hope you don't. But for those first few years that you're dealing with a lot of this stuff, especially when you're being bombarded and you're like, I'm just trying to figure out what it means to be an empath. I can't deal with everyone else right now. That's what that was for. I created that specifically for that reason, that you just spritz
Yeah,
that
that's
on your
great.
skin, right? Create that
Yep.
barrier, and it clears out anything you picked up, and then you get back to basics, right? You get back to who am I? Who am I without everyone else's energy? Who am I in here? What's my feelings? What do I need to work on? What do I need to heal? And it's okay to be selfish for the first while and figure that out, because you'll be better for it if you do, right?
Absolutely. You're doing your soul such a service. It's such a gift you can give yourself. Because we tend to be people pleasers, perfectionists,
Right.
always giving, and then wonder why we're drained.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
So it
that's
looks
not
like,
necessary.
yeah, not at all. So it looks like a lot of the folks here want to do some balancing, and you had
Ooh,
offered that beautiful gift. So go for
absolutely.
it.
Let's do it.
All
So,
right.
for me to do this for everyone, all I need is permission. I just say yes. Say yes to being centered. Say yes to being grounded. And I'm more than happy to do that, more than happy to offer that. And you don't even have to say it out loud. It's a internal dialogue where you say, I give permission. I give permission for this. And then just take a moment, take a deep breath, because you want to relax your body to allow it to take place, and so that you bring awareness into your body so that you can feel what's happening when we do it. So taking that deep breath, I'll do it with you. And then I'm going to gather up all the energy, no matter how far you've scattered it, no matter how much you've scattered out, that's okay. I'm going to gather it all up for everyone at once. And I'm going to bring it all in. And just feel what's happening in your body. One more time. Now, what it may feel like is that the energies from either side of you comes in, comes in, comes in, comes in, and then I leave a gap down the center of the body, and it leaves that room for everything to move, and that just brings in, just so that it's in your present. And now we ground. So all that excess energy, we're gonna let your body move it through now. So we're gonna ground, and you can do this with me, or I can do it for you. It's okay. If you want to use one of the visualizations that we just gave you, rolling up in the grass, or letting your feet sink down into the ground in your mind. And I'm gonna just do it along with you. I'm gonna ground everyone at the same time, as if we're all holding hands. And I'm gonna pull us down, 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 solid in our bodies, and connecting with Gaia, connecting to Earth. And then start releasing excess energy, releasing emotions, releasing energy that we picked up that might not be ours, or releasing energy that is ours, but we don't need it. And we're just going to let it all flow out through our feet, through our root cord. And if that takes a little while, that's okay. There's no judgment. And if it happens quickly for you, that's wonderful. No judgment as to how long it takes to ground or to release. And just feel if that is something that you want to repeat. And because if it feels good to you, if it resonates for you, your body will remember how to do it. And then you just need to choose to do it, and it will just happen with such ease. I hope that helps everyone.
Yeah, no, I felt it.
Good.
Immediately.
Good.
I could feel like it just being pulled in and then out it went. So that was wonderful. Thank you so much for doing that on the spur of the moment.
Absolutely. If that's what
And
comes up, you follow the spirit moves, right? And it's just whatever comes up at the time. We're better to just go with the flow always.
absolutely. And be like the water. I mean, the water doesn't say, hey, I want to stop and turn around.
Right? It just keeps going where it's supposed to go, regardless of what's in its path. It always finds a way. Yeah.
Definitely. So let me know how you guys are feeling. Did you notice anything? Because sometimes, well, many times we're highly intuitive. We just don't know it. But when we find more ways to relax and let go and just be and calm and centered, things will come through. You either hear, feel, know, sense, taste, smell. So
Or goosebumps.
share with us. Goosebumps, yeah, or sometimes tickles, or depending
Right?
on, yeah,
Or the
who's
tinglies.
around you. The tinglies. Yeah, tinglies are usually confirmation for me. I don't know about you. Like if you say
Yes.
something or something happens, it's like, whoa.
And sometimes you get the tinglies just in one area, like on your arm or maybe your face. But then when it's like really profound, whole body tingles.
Yes, whole
Yeah.
body.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Mary feels better already. That's
Great.
wonderful. Thank you for sharing. And that's what we want. The more ways we can collaborate and connect and raise our vibrations, the better we're going to be. I mean, this is rebirth, new earth. That's what I believe.
Well, we've been waiting for 4D for a while. Like we're excited. This is exciting. This is ascension. We're on track. Things are moving forward, But yes, it means that a lot of us at the forefront, those of us who have been, receiving training, receiving guidance like yourself, like probably many of the people online today, we need to share. We need to share as much as we can, being where we're at. If we're still in our healing, then that's okay. If we're still in that phase where it's all about us, that's okay. But as much as you can share and as much as you can help others, try to remember where you started with all of this, right? And how that was for you. And remember that many people are now in that place. This month, a lot of people are waking up and they're probably going to be freaked right out. I shouldn't laugh. I remember what it was like. I thought I was going to be put in the funny farm.
Yeah.
So, we're definitely facing that again, but in droves.
In waves. And then I know, the community is, they'll post and say, did you feel that? I'm like, yeah, I felt that. Or they talk about the Schumann resonance. And I'm like, I didn't, people are like, what? And I'm like, never mind. And then we talk about retrogrades. I mean, people get freaked out about Mercury retrograde. I know I used to, but now I know it's because you're revisiting, you're re-looking, you're rehashing, you're recommunicating. It's all about the things that you didn't deal with. They're just coming back. It's like retro, like we're living in the past, and the past is coming back. I'm not a big astrologer, but I've, I guess dived in enough to try and find out really what does that mean.
Right?
Yeah. And I think, go ahead.
Ruth here felt the energy coming from sides with tingling, wasn't sure about middle, feeling different. Oh,
Yes.
It's an unusual feeling the first time when you're centered so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And, normally it's much more gradual. Obviously, I did it very, very rapidly, but it's much more effective. So
yes, definitely.
Thanks for sharing that, Ruth.
Yes, and Shauna as well. Heavy feet lightened up as grounding.
Nice.
No, that's beautiful.
And we never know
wonderful.
how long we will stay grounded, like you said, right? Depends on our environment, depends on, what we're experiencing emotions and what's going on around us. So, checking in to see if you still have that feeling of groundedness or if you don't, if it's dissipated, that check-in is really important.
Yes, checking in all the time. Yeah, it's. So, how do you feel about self-care
Oh my goodness, it's so
at this
critical,
time?
right? It's right back to the airplane thing. If you're unhealthy, and I don't mean just what you eat, I mean, are you emotionally unhealthy? Are you in a toxic environment? Are you unhappy with your life? Do you hate your job? Are you emotionally, physically drained and stressed? I mean, that's just no way to live. I mean, why? Why would you want to live that way? I mean, I understand a lot of people want to have that experience, but once you've had it, let go. Let go. You've got everything you need from it. Get rid of that stress. Get rid of that fear. Get rid of that whatever's causing you to be sad or unhappy. And I understand, and I know it doesn't always happen instantly, but self-care is more than just what you eat or what you drink or, avoiding drugs and alcohol. It's everything. It's your life. It's who you surround yourself with. It's, how do you feel inside? And self-care is critical in our 3D 4D bodies. Our physical bodies are our vehicles, and without them you can't survive here. You just can't. And it's not just about survival, it's about enjoying survival. It's about enjoying your incarnation here. So what does self-care mean to you guys? To me, it means everything.
Yeah, I think the word selfish got thrown around a lot, and now it's not. It's selfish is not taking care of yourself,
Yeah.
and there's no more, like, we had a rampant issue with worthiness as well, especially with the women. Some of the clients I work with, their sense of worth, they don't feel worthy, or they were told to be quiet, they were too sensitive, you go over there, you stay in your corner, stuff like that. So I don't know if any of this resonates for any of the other empaths out there, or any of you that are joining or wondering if you are, but that's why we're here.
Well, if anybody's still wondering if they're an empath, they can go to my website, employedbyangels.com. There is a quiz on there. It'll tell you without a shadow of a doubt whether you are or aren't an empath. So there's that tool available. But self-care, I know a lot of people think it means being selfish, and selfish is very extreme. Selfish means to some people to the exclusion of all else. And that's not what we mean. We don't mean to the exclusion of caring for your children, or it means it has to include you. You can't exclude yourself for everyone else. It means that you're just as important as everyone else. It's about equality. And for many generations, women haven't necessarily had that. So they're having to learn that now, and that's fair. But reaching out for healing to people like yourself or me or whoever resonates for you as a healer is the start. It's a beginning to saying yes to yourself and asking, what do I need help with, and where do I go from here? And that's what we're here for, right?
Absolutely. We're here for, I say, three things: unconditional love, forgiveness, and healing.
Mm-hmm.
And it involves relationships of self
Very much so.
and others.
Right? We don't live
So,
alone on this planet.
no, sometimes from what I've seen, somebody had posted a meme about a UFO and said, "Please take me," or something like that. Like,
Well, they have done that, and we kind of got upset about it. So they're not allowed to do that anymore.
Yes. All right. So, guys, do you have any questions about, if you're not sure if you're an empath, what are you guys dealing with right now? Do you have questions for Kim? Do you have questions for me? What is most pressing? I guess right now, because we've been in incubation, as I call it, it's a lot of people are looking at their careers, their relationship. Everything is right in your face. You cannot avoid this. So what changes are you guys wanting to make, and what's stopping you?
Those are really good things to consider. Yeah, I'm totally open to questions if anybody has any questions at all. It doesn't even have to be what we're talking about here.
No,
You
it could
know,
be unrelated. It could be even, I get questions about social media. Do you find yourself scrolling mindlessly and then you find something and you go down the rabbit hole and then you're totally triggered or off for the whole day? Be very mindful what you're feeding your mind, and the news as well. I don't watch. I get updates from people, but for a lot of people, it's very. It keeps you in that fear loop,
it does.
right?
I always tell in my empath classes that good news travels fast, bad news travels faster. You don't need to watch the news. You will hear about it one way or the other. You don't have to subject yourself to that to know what's going on in the world. Someone will bang down your door to tell you what's going on. So I've never felt like I didn't know what was happening in the world around me at any point, and I have never watched the news or read the newspapers. So, and I feel like I'm pretty in touch with the world. So
Yeah, we're really finding being more in touch with ourselves and then with others through different mediums, different ways of connecting. I mean, being online, you can connect with someone, in Australia in ways we've never done before.
it's so true. I love technology for that very reason, that I have clients in the UK and, like you say, Australia and all around the world. The world's shrinking because of technology, and it's wonderful. We can connect and reach out to all of our friends.
Definitely. So I guess, 4D, and what does that mean for empaths right now? Like what should they be working on? Is there other than themselves? Is there anything else you could?
Well, the biggest thing right now for empaths is they were probably feeling it and not understanding what was going on. So the first thing they would have been feeling, and possibly still, because it's only been a couple weeks, there's probably been a lot of fatigue. And they're like, what's wrong with me? Is my iron low? No, it's okay. I mean, obviously check your own health. But if you were fine before the beginning of July and then all of a sudden you're very, very tired this month, it's part of the transition. If you're feeling very emotional, or see, like Ruth here,
Yes.
crying a lot and releasing, it can trigger all of that, because there's so much that you cannot take to the 4D level. There's things that have to fall away. And how does that fall away? Well, it falls away through detoxing and emotional releases and other releases, which clearly Ruth is experiencing. And it's not comfortable, but it's temporary. You just have to remember it's just temporary. So use all the tools that make you comfortable, like our essential oils, the sound, binaural
Sound
beats,
frequencies, binaural beats.
right,
Yeah.
to help you to sleep, or whatever helps you. Try a few things, right? There are lots of natural remedies and things that will get you through this phase. I can't say how long it'll be, because it's going to be very individual. Right? But being aware of those symptoms, Reiki clearly is one of those tools that we use to help. It's energy healing. It's a great tool because you can use it on yourself to help yourself. If you're not Reiki trained, then going to see a practitioner might help, help you get back to sleeping. In some cases, I have clients that book healing sessions with me where I have to actually reset their circadian rhythm because sometimes it gets knocked out in that transition. It happens, right?
Yes. Yeah, and that's why grounding or earthing is really important, because that can help reset. I also, maybe Ruth, I don't know, what is your bedtime routine like? Are you bringing your phone to bed? Do you have electronics in your bedroom? I turn everything off an hour before I go to bed. I don't engage with anything. This is my quiet downtime, my alone time, whether it's meditation or whatever you choose.
Mm-hmm.
That could be part of your self-care plan. And you are shedding layers because there is a lot of inner child and trauma and wounds being released as well at this time.
Yeah, and they move through, and it's uncomfortable. There's no way to make it comfortable. You're never going to enjoy that part of it. But oh, so worth it when you come out the other side. Just so worth it.
It is. And you guys are so worth it. I mean, that's why you're here. That's why you showed up. There was something in today's show that resonated with you. So go with what feels good.
Mm-hmm.
So how are you starting your morning as well? Is the first thing you pick up your phone? That's not a good way to start your day. In fact, I don't touch it. I do my stuff for an hour. I have me time. So where's your time, guys? I guess that's what I'm asking. It's really vital to wake up on the right side of your head, as they would say, not the bed.
Right. Yeah. Are you allowing time in your day for you?
Most definitely. Gosh, yeah. I'm just looking at waking up an empath. How did that start for you?
Oh, that book was actually about my spiritual awakening. It
Mm-hmm.
was very fast and very tumultuous. And I was literally journaling what my experience was as I was writing it. I was just writing down my daily, weekly experiences. And it was just so crazy that I didn't publish it right away because I thought, who's going to believe any of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
What does this even mean? And then someone I knew was starting to go through those awakening symptoms. And I thought, well, I wonder if what I wrote would help her, because I did put it in a book format. I just hadn't published it. And I let her read it. And wow, just the reaction from her solidified that I needed to publish it and put it out there. And after I did so, I can't tell you over and over and over the hundreds of times I've heard, you basically explained my whole awakening, however long it took, right? For different people, it was like you just mapped it all out and explained it. And now I know I'm not crazy.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, and you're not. What's crazy, when I keep hearing this term, but I mean, they flipped it around now, is, going back to, the way it was. And I'm like, why? Was it working for anybody? Crickets. I mean, we could not sustain the pace that we were going at. I remember talking
No,
about that in December. I said, my goodness, something's got to change.
right? And boy, did
And
it ever. Yeah.
boy, did
If
it
you
ever.
won't change, change will happen for you.
And change is life. I think a lot of us just like to be comfortable in our discomfort.
Yeah, because we fear the unknown, but no, change is constant no matter what. And ascension is proof of that.
Absolutely. And you guys are all born perfectly and beautiful children of God. That's all you need to remember and to feel. I always go back to that whenever I have a
And
moment where
we have each other,
yes,
right?
we
Let's
have each
support each
other.
other.
Yeah. So how can we support you guys at this time? Even if you're on the replay, please let us know. Do you have questions for Kim? And please share this out, share the love, share the light, share the blessings as always. And yeah, I'm just, I keep seeing a lot of stuff, but I'm hearing like, we're coming out of this in December. It's looking very different. How that is, I have no idea.
Yes. Yeah, probably the hardest year we're going to have. It's going to be quite different after this, but it will get a little easier, and the less you fight it, the more you just kind of ride the wave and don't resist it, the easier it'll be. It's only in the resistance and the expectations where we hurt ourselves.
Yeah, and the ego, that was part of my journey. The ego wants to control everything and has a timeline, and it wants to keep you stuck. So it's not something you fight, it's something you integrate. It's like your shadow self
You
as
betcha.
well,
Yeah.
right?
And all parts
Okay.
of you are meant to be there, so.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, and
All
it's
right.
probably
Well,
worth mentioning that on the
yes.
replay, the centering and
Hmm.
grounding will still work.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Totally forgot. Yeah, that's true. Wherever the intention is, if you're there, it's going to work as long as there has to be a belief, of course, right? And don't let the ego tell you otherwise.
Yeah, it's one of the primary questions I get. Will it still work on the replay? I'm like, oh yes, as long as you want it, just give permission. You have free will, but if you say yes
Yes.
to it, it will absolutely work for you, 100%.
Wonderful. All right. So is there anything else you'd like to share with us before we're done? If you have anything upcoming, I shared your website as well.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
You're
Employed by
welcome.
Angels. Yeah, that's my company, employedbyangels.com. The website is really user friendly. It has on there my shop where I have lots of products available to help people with their spiritual abilities and their growth and anything you can think of. There's workshops posted on my website every single month. I have new workshops. There's quite an array. There's 2 trainers right now, but I have a third one that is actually starting in August. So we have 3 people that are available to help, and so those will all be updated on the website as well. Like I mentioned, the Empath quiz is on my website.
Yes.
You can book healing sessions with me on my website. There's a booking. You can book the workshops online. A lot of them are online right now because of COVID. And I guess if you can't find what you're looking for on my website, please reach out to me on Facebook. I'm a big Facebook user, so I
Yes,
have.
she is.
Yeah, like I have Employed by
I love your
Angels. I have my
posts.
author
They're
page.
great.
Right? Thank you. And I
Yeah.
have fun with it. I have fun on Facebook. Like it's not a chore to me. So
Oh, that's wonderful.
I'm available.
Nice. I
Yeah.
love that. I'm going to check it out. I even took the empath quiz because I just, I already knew, but it was just fun to take. So come on, you guys, do the same thing, right? Have fun with it. I just wanted to mention tomorrow I'm having a complimentary webinar at 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. So just comment HEAL to sign up for that. I will also just leave the link. So maybe I'll just make that easier for you all. Here we go. And there it is. So there is the link to the Zoom link to register for it. And I hope to see you guys there. There's going to be meditations. There's going to be energy clearings, some Reiki, and there's going to be a past life coming up. I mean, we've had so many. And, a lot of times we're like, what's going on here? Well, you're going to find out at least one thing, if not maybe 2. So, yeah, anyways, I'm excited to do that. And Ruth, she just wanted to say, nice to know I'm getting there. Thank you. I follow Kim and appreciate. Oh, yes. And Ken as well. Ken's your partner.
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is.
Thank you,
Wonderful.
Ruth.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Is your meditation a guided meditation?
Yes, it is a guided meditation. I take you through, it's like a past life regression, basically. So
Oh,
you're
those are
gonna
fun.
you're gonna feel, see, hear things, know things, and you're gonna start piecing it together. And there are 10 past life fears. Like if you maybe have issues with your throat chakra. You might have been hung in a former life or choked or something to do with the throat. So just interesting things like that. I'm very, very drawn to that. I really resonate with Edgar Cayce, the sleeping prophet. So I just felt this was important for our journey,
Yeah,
including
no, it
mine.
is.
So
Guided meditations tend to be so much easier than trying to just sit in complete silence. I find them very useful. So that's wonderful you offer that.
definitely. Thank you so much. Well, I learned so much from you and continue to learn so much from you, Kim. And I, bless you for your journey. Thank you for sharing with us your light and your love. And hey, guys, I want you to have an amazing week. And please reach out if you're struggling, either to us or to any professional or even friend, family, whoever you feel safe with. Okay, we're all in this together. And again, wishing you so much love and light. And please remember, healing begins where the ego ends. Take care, guys.